I was just about to contact you. Yeah, I'm drained. I stayed up the whole night just practice this show. It better be good.
Also, did you hear what Sarah did?
Yeah, the whole crew was talking about them. And
Girl, what's wrong?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Why is the camera on? Why is it live?
What do you mean?
You put...
Oh, that. I kind of played with it. I mean, I was bored. I was waiting for you. I'm sorry. I had nothing to do. I was bored.
It's okay. Go tell our boss that we started our show early because we were enthusiastic.
But that's
Yeah,
not
no,
true.
it's
We're
not
not.
true. Are you enthusiastic?
No.
Am I enthusiastic? No. So, go.
Okay. Bye. But can you handle this? Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, bye.
Good. Hi everybody, it's Eshma Zaheya Ikhtiari Siregar, and I hope everyone's having a great day. I'm having a great day, and I'm from SMP Bandung, and today I'm going to be presenting a story that I made called Venturing Around London. I hope everybody enjoys, and yeah. Also, Venturing Around London is a story that I made about my personal experience living in London for 4 years, getting used to the lifestyle and everything, and like the environment and everything. So yeah, I just wanted to share this story around for people to know, and yeah, enjoy everybody. Venturing Around London. I woke up overwhelmingly excited. This is it, the day I've been waiting for my whole life. I put it on my calendar, set it on my alarm. I even wrote it down in all my textbooks. It's London Day, the day I start my adventure in London. I've been waiting for this day my whole life. I even pulled an all-nighter just for this day. I headed to my parents' room, and to their surprise, I was already awake. And they said, "Oh, hi honey, we were just about to wake you up." Okay, then we're gonna wake your siblings, and you just go get ready, okay? I sprung up and down with joy. I sprinted to my bathroom and took a shower. I went back to my room and got quickly dressed. Since I had already packed ahead, I had nothing to do except be super excited that I'm going to London. So that's exactly what I did. Yep. I ran downstairs and sat down on my couch and opened my journal and wrote, "I'm coming, London." The "I'm" and the "coming" and the "London" was all in caps lock, and there was a lot, and I trust you, a lot of exclamation marks. I looked straight at my mirror and said, "Hi guys, it's Eshma, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a very, very special vlog because I'm going to London." I kept blah blah blahing about how amazing and how great this opportunity is. I still wonder why I didn't just use my actual tablet to actually record a video, but nonetheless, I did it anyways. I spoke in a really high-pitched voice because I was super duper thrilled. A few hours came by and I didn't even realize I was sleeping until my mom shouted, "Let's go everybody, come on!" I was a bit woozy, but that didn't keep me from being overly excited, so I stood up as fast as I could, of course, and said my goodbyes and took all my luggage and ran towards the vehicle. Half of my coat was on the floor, and the worst case scenario, I fall. The worst case scenario happened. I fell and tripped over my coat, and that's okay. But I can already hear my mom saying, "Be careful, sweetie," from a distance. Anyways, I pulled up my coat and started running again. You're probably thinking, "Eshma, what the heck? What are you thinking? This is such a bad idea. Why are you running again?" Well, I did it. Sue me. I barged into the car and I quickly sat myself down. I took my tablet and I started vlogging my day. The rest of my family went in the car and sat themselves down. I could tell some of them were still half asleep. I genuinely thought that I would stay up for the whole night. Well, the whole trip. Well, I guess not. I slept in the first few minutes and it said, "I'm coming, London," in such a weak voice. I woke up to the sound of my parents saying, "We're here, everybody." Afterwards, I walked out the vehicle so fast, and my father handed me my luggage. As I took a breath of excitement, I said, "It's here. It's finally here. The day I've been waiting for, the second step to my London adventure." My parents led me and the rest of my family to a restaurant at the airport. I'm guessing this was our breakfast replacement since we were in such a hurry to get to the airport. Well, no one was really in a hurry to get to the airport. It was just me, but we're not gonna talk about that. No, it wasn't me, it was everybody, right? Right. I kept asking my father how many more hours until we boarded the plane, as I was munching on my delicious tuna crispy sandwich. Time passed by, and my parents finally said the sentence I was waiting for them to say. "Okay, guys, time to go. Pack your stuff up, clean yourself, and let's head towards the plane, okay?" I cleaned myself, and I brushed off the crumbs, and I packed up, and I got ready to go. We arrived at where the plane was at and stood in a long line of people who were waiting for their tickets to get scanned, their bodies to be checked, their everything, all the security activities that you have to do before boarding the plane. I sat on my suitcase with boredom slowly filling up my body. I decided to continue vlogging since I literally had nothing to do this time. A few hours came by and it was finally my family's turn. Each of us walked into the scanner machine and we put our luggage in the luggage scanner, and before we knew it, we were already walking towards the plane. We boarded the plane, took our tickets, searched for our seats, and once we found our seats, we put our luggage away and we sat ourselves down. We got ready for the plane to take off, and 15 minutes later, the classic plane introduction started. "Greetings, everybody. Here at Garuda Indonesia, we offer you high quality flight and safe, secured seatbelts." As the introduction went on, I looked out the window and the fear finally hit me. I was trying to avoid this feeling all along before this happened. This suddenly happened as we took off. Then and there, I realized that I'm leaving Indonesia, not for good, but for a long time. I won't be able to see my friends. I won't be able to see some family. I won't be able to be seeing anyone in Indonesia. I looked towards my mom's face as she said, "Oh my goodness, we're taking off, honey." She looked back at me and said, "What's wrong, hon?" I responded with nothing but a big hug. At that time, I think I just needed affection, so I bursted out in tears as she pats my head and kisses my forehead. She then said, "Hi, honey, you should probably rest. It's going to be a really long journey." So I took her advice and slept. I opened my eyes and slept, and I smelled the delicious scent of steak. I couldn't resist. Of course, I mean, it's steak. No one can resist steak. So I took a photo of the scrumptious meal I was having and ate all my food up. I looked out the window and it was dark, so I assumed that it was nighttime. Right after the meal, I slept again with my earbuds blasting music into my ear. I woke up with my parents' voice saying, "We've arrived!" So, I was barely awake, so the excitement hadn't hit me yet. We took our baggage and walked towards the exit. I was so tired I didn't even realize we were already riding our way to the hotel. It was quite late, so I thought we were going to sleep, but my father said, guys, we're going to meet one of my friends from London. I'm so sorry to tire you out, but we're just going to meet her for a second and we can go back to the hotel and sleep, okay? So get ready. So I got ready, and when everybody was ready, we walked outside, and then the excitement finally got into me. I looked around to see the beautiful warm-toned lights and the little droplets of rain falling into the palm of my hand. We entered the cafe and was sat down by the waitress. We ordered our food, and soon enough my meal came. The delicious kids' meal nuggets. Yeah! It comes with a coloring sheet and crayons. What more can you ask for that? You're probably wondering, you're such a kid. Well, I am. Well, I still am, but I was too. I was either 7 or 8 years old, and my only dream food was the kids' meal menu, so you can't judge me for that. Sue me, okay? Anyways, I ate my meal and we went back to the hotel. I threw myself on the soft, cozy bed and didn't even bother to do anything but sleep. So that's what I did. I woke up feeling very dirty, so I went to the bathroom and took a shower. My father announced that we had plans today. Obviously, my mood went up, so I got dressed and I got ready to start my adventure. We walked out of the door and I twirled around smelling the fresh air. We headed towards the famous Big Ben. I started vlogging again, and after 30 minutes of being in the taxi, we finally arrived. We all ran towards the Big Ben and took a lot of pictures. After a long time at Big Ben, we decided to go to the museum. After we arrived at the museum, we quickly entered as soon as possible because the weather was becoming very cold. We entered the museum feeling very cold and freezing and shivering. But the second we stepped in, the heaters were right on us and we were feeling warm. We didn't see any specific labels for each exhibition, so we entered whichever one we felt attracted to. We saw many dinosaur-shaped silhouettes from a distance, and my brother was instantly attracted to that. So we decided to enter that exhibition, and we stepped towards the tall white pillars, and the first thing we saw was this incredible T-Rex fossil. I pulled out my tablet to record everything I found fascinating. We came closer to the T-Rex fossil, and I took a good look at the details. We were so shocked to see how amazing that looked. After a few hours we spent looking at the dinosaur fossils, we decided to move to another exhibition. A majority of people were entering and exiting this specific exhibition. As people were walking by, I saw a glimpse of how the exhibition looked like. All I could see were a different variety of statues. So I told my family about it and we started walking towards the specific exhibition. We entered the large space and saw many statues from different cultures. From then on, we assumed that this was an international exhibition. We were enlightened by the sights of different cultures displayed everywhere. I recorded and took pictures of all the statues we saw, and after exploring around that exhibition, we decided to visit one more since it was getting late and we gotta go home. So we went to the second floor of exhibitions, and after a long walk, we finally found a exhibition that was worth it to end the visit to the museum. It was the interactive section exhibition. I was super happy to see the bright colors on one section and beautiful designs in another section, and just so many cool things to experience. We couldn't stay for too long since it was getting late, so we decided to head to the hotel. We called a taxi to pick us up, and because we didn't have a car yet. When we arrived, we put our things down and we took a shower. We each took a shower, and afterwards we ate dinner. The meal was delicious. My mom made a British classic: 2 roasted beef, 2 roasted potatoes, cheese poured with gravy on top of it, and tender beef drenched in gravy. And carrots, of course. It was scrumptious. We all went to each of our rooms and slept. I woke up at 6 or 7-ish a.m. craving for food. So I rose up and went to the kitchen to go make myself a sandwich. I grabbed the jar of Nutella, the butter knife, and the bread, and I dipped my butter knife into the delicious, creamy, rich Nutella and the butter knife and the bread. And I started spreading it on my bread. I put everything back to where they should be and took a big bite of my sandwich. Whilst I was eating my sandwich, my father shouted, "Family meeting, everyone, family meeting!" So I rushed to my parents' room, bringing my sandwich, and the little specks of crumbs of bread dropped onto the ground. I wasn't bothered to clean it up, so I sat myself down on their bed, and my mom looked at me saying, "Where's the others, hon?" I responded saying, "Oh, they're asleep." So she rose up and headed towards my siblings' rooms. A couple of minutes came by, and my mom came back with my siblings in the back following her. When they all entered the room, I then asked, "So, what's wrong?" My father responded saying, "Okay guys, tomorrow we're going to move out to an apartment. So I'm going to need you all to pack up and get ready for tomorrow, okay?" I asked for the time when we were going, and he responded morning. So I got ready, I finished my sandwich, and I started packing for tomorrow. I finished packing for about 2 to 3 hours, and by then it was already lunchtime. So my mom called the family for lunch, and I ran to the dining room and smelled the delicious scent of spaghetti bolognese. My mom turned around and looked at me saying, "Oh, hey sweetie, come here, have some spaghetti. The plates and utensils are on the table, okay?" So I took a fork and a plate, and my mom put some delicious spaghetti on my plate, and I took a big bite of my spaghetti. I ate it all in a flash, and once I finished, I went back to my room and I grabbed my tablet and started recording. I didn't even realize I was taking up so much space in my tablet until there was a notification on my tablet saying 99% of space used. Clear up some space, please. So I cleared it up, and I was getting quite tired, so I fell asleep. A few hours passed by, and I woke up to my mom saying, "Guys, it's dinner time, come on." So I went to my parents' room and I asked where were we eating, and she was like, "Oh yeah, we're going to eat at a nearby restaurant." So I got ready to go to the restaurant, and when we all finished getting ready, we headed towards the restaurant. The restaurant name was called Mayfair Chippy. We entered the restaurant, and I smelled the scent of fish. We sat ourselves down, and soon enough we ordered our food. This time there was no kids' meal, so I just went for the fish and chip classic. The food came in an hour or so, and I started eating. The delicious crispy fish and the tasteful chips just amazed me. I finished, and I took a bit longer than usual to finish my food, mainly because I wanted to save every bit of the food. When everybody was finished, my parents paid for our food, and we went back home. We took a shower, and shortly after that, my mom said, "Don't sleep too late, everyone." So I jumped to my bed and fell asleep. I woke up in the morning to my mom saying, "Come on guys, get ready, we're gonna move." So I took a quick bite of a cereal bar, and I got dressed, and we went, and we started heading towards the apartment. When we arrived, it was already quite late because, when we arrived, it was quite the lunchtime. It was lunchtime, so we decided to eat when we arrived. We put our things down in the hallway, and we searched for a restaurant near the apartment. So we ate at the apartment called Pizzeria, and it was really delicious and it was really good. And after that, we went back to the apartment and started unpacking everything. I helped my mom unpack everything, clean everything, and we were exhausted. So after that, we started searching for dinner. Since there was no dinner restaurants that would open, we decided to cook. And my mom decided to cook some delicious Indonesian fried rice. So I ate up my fried rice, and I fell asleep during eating my fried rice because I was so exhausted. And my mom woke me up saying, "Hey, sweetie, you can go to bed now, you know." So I headed towards my room and fell asleep like that. I woke up and my sister said, "Hey, you're awake. Come on, let's go to Tesco." I responded saying, "What? Where's Tesco?" She then said, "Oh, it's just a supermarket. I bet it'll be really fun. It's a British supermarket." So I nodded my head and started getting ready to go to Tesco. Since Tesco is very close to our apartment, we only had to take one bus to go there. We waited at the bus stop for quite some time and finally found a bus. Finally, a bus came. We entered the bus and my mom scanned her special bus card and we sat ourselves down. We arrived at Tesco and went in. The fresh smell of vegetables, fruits, food made me happy. We went to get our groceries and in just about 20 minutes, we were done. So we went back home and me and my sister helped my mom unpack the groceries, and after that, my mom gathered the whole family in the living room. We all sat on the couch and my mom said, we're looking for schools for you guys, okay?" She said she sent applications to schools, her London friends, to finally meet some new friends, but also I was really nervous. She then said it'll take a week or so until we get the feedback from the schools, okay? So we all nodded our heads and we went back to our rooms. The whole week was full of cleaning up and grocery shopping and etc. So there was not much to tell about. After a week passed by, my mom finally said that the feedback was given. She said she wanted each of us to pick which school we wanted to go to. So we all picked, and she said we were starting school in 2 weeks. So I vlogged every day until school started. And eventually she announced that school is going to start today. I packed the essentials I needed for school the night before, and I woke up to the night before school and woke up to my mom saying, "Come on guys, get ready, it's school day." So I took my bag and me and my mom took a bus to go to the school. When we arrived, she introduced me to the teachers and students. One of the secretaries gave me a brand new uniform. So I tried it on and she said, "Okay, you gotta wear this, okay?" So I wore it and I made a lot of friends. Surprisingly, I was still very shy and very not that social, but I still made a lot of friends. When it was lunch at school, it was really delicious. I ate school lunch. I never used to get school lunch in Indonesian school, so I was really surprised when it came. It wasn't the best food ever, but it was the amazing experience that I loved. After school ended, I told my mom about my day, and she said, "Oh yeah, okay then. that's great. Then she proceeded to hug me and said, okay, then go do your homework, sweetie. So I jumped up to my bed and started doing my homework. A few years passed by and I couldn't even feel it. I was already 11. School was going amazing. I was really excited for my secondary school because I was in 6th grade. School was going amazing. Everything went amazing until the one day I went home to see my parents in the living room with the rest of my family. My mom told me to come in the living room for a discussion. So I went in and my father said, guys, I'm so sorry to break it up to you, but we're going to leave next week. I responded saying, you mean moving out? And he said, no, hon, we're going back to Indonesia. As he said that with a frown that grew on my face, I stormed into my bedroom and closed the door. I know it's not their fault, but I was just very sad to hear the sad news. I fell asleep for hours and heard knocking on my door. I didn't respond, but the person who knocked still came in. It turns out it was my mom. She handed me dinner and she rubbed my back and slowly started hugging me. She then left and closed the door. The next day, I woke up with my pillow soaking wet because I was crying so much and my hair all sticky. My mom came in the room and took my dinner from last night and she said to me, honey, you've got school today. You should get ready, sweetie. I rose up and took a shower with sadness growing in my body. I got dressed and I arrived late. I then remembered my mom saying today was my last day of school, so I became even more sad to know that this is my last day of school. Like, no. Then I was sad than I was before. I sat myself on my seat and started crying. The teacher sent my best friend to the bathroom to accompany me, and I started bursting out tears. I explained everything to my best friend, and she comforted me. And after a long session of crying, we went back to class and my best friend explained everything to my teacher. At lunch, instead of eating, I went to the bathroom and cried again. After a few moments, my best friend came in and accompanied me to lunch. I ate everything up and soon enough it was almost the end of the day. So me and my best friend went back to class, and as soon as I went in, everyone in the class huddled around me saying their goodbyes. I started crying again. The teacher told everyone to sit back and for me to give a speech. So I gave my sad, frowned speech and said my last goodbyes. I went home with my cardigan soaking wet and my eyes very sore. When I arrived at home, I saw all the photos that I took in London and all my memories and fell asleep without even knowing it. Soon enough, it was already the night before we go back to Indonesia. I didn't even realize because I spent most of the day sobbing on my bed. Anyways, I packed all my memories up, all my clothes, all my essentials, and vlogged. I wasn't enthusiastic at all about the day I was leaving. So I spent every last moment in London with sadness. I wiped my tears. I finally came to my senses and I wiped my tears away and started going outside to my backyard and laying on the grass and genuinely enjoying everything. A few hours came by and I went back inside to eat dinner, and I ate a proper meal this time. I haven't been eating properly for the past a week, so I was really happy about eating properly again. I went back to bed to avoid extreme sobbing, but that failed. My mind just overfilled with all the memories, and it went, no. I had a moment of my mind saying, no, we're not going. No, I have so much memories, and no, this is not happening. But the next thing I knew, I was already at the airport going to leave to Indonesia. I woke up at 4 to 5 a.m. and got ready to go. When everyone was done getting ready, I started vlogging again. Still wasn't enthusiastic at all, but we arrived at the airport, and in just a second we were already boarding the plane, and we took off. The extreme sadness bursted out of me. I started sobbing again and started thinking, no, this can't be happening. I just came yesterday. Why am I leaving now? My whole life in London started to fill up my head, like it was just about to explode. I looked straight at my mom and just hugged her so hard, and she hugged me back and kissed my head, and I slept on her tummy. Not knowing I missed dinner, lunch, breakfast, I woke up the next day and my mom said, "We're here, honey." So I rose up, tidied up my seat, boarded off the plane, and sooner or later, we were already home at Indonesia. Everything blurred like it was a glitch. Suddenly, I felt a tap on my shoulder saying, "Honey, come on, we're going to London." I woke up, put on my glasses, and then I realized it was all a dream. Okay, that's the end of the story. I'm so sorry if I kept stuttering or anything, or I mispronounced any words. I'm still learning a little bit, and yeah, hope you enjoy. Bye, everybody.